Sony can go die. I have been waiting all year for Venom. If I'm being honest, I've waited all my life to see this twat be represented properly on the big screen. So, it's just my goddamn luck the first time I get it, he doesn't appear on screen for 50 fucking minutes. Venom cucked us all. I normally try to be unbiased with these reviews, as unbiased as you can get, which really just means my bias is the same in all of them, so I try to be impartial more than anything. I can't fucking do that with Venom. It's an insult to superhero movies, and I don't understand the logic behind this film whatsoever. The director, Ruben Fleischer, is a ballsy motherfucker, and I respect that, to an extent. It takes a whole lot of confidence to make a movie where Tom Hardy downs tater tots and knocks himself out by falling in a bathtub, only to turn around in interviews and proudly proclaim, "We didn't want it to feel like a softened version." I think when you watch the movie, you'll see that it's a very aggressive version of a comic book character. It's a really unique tone. Yeah, sure thing, Ruben. I believe that just like I believe in the flat earth. The uniqueness of the tone is you made an off-brand Jason Bourne film with Tom Hardy for the first 50 minutes. I have a myriad of problems with Venom. The editing at some points is sloppy and hard to focus on. Everyone in this movie feels like they were plucked from a film that was far darker than this, with the exception of Eddie Brock, Venom himself, and that's not even approaching the odd-ass fact that a movie titled Venom avoids Venom for over 70% of its runtime. My guy, what the heck were you on? But despite all that, I find myself regretfully having to admit that the movie is a fun and enjoyable experience, and not all bad at all. I mean, Venom French kissing Eddie was really bad, but whatever. Who cares? My biggest complaint with Venom is that we don't get enough Venom. Ruben Fleischer tried to talk up the movie and act like it's all about Venom, but really in the end he ends up, to quote Venom himself, being too much of a pussy to actually commit to it fully. I understand my dislike for this movie is one of my more controversial takes, but in my defense, I like Venom. I buy Venom monthly. I own one of the first issues to delve into the awareness that the black Spider-Man suit actually has before it became Venom. And I went into Venom expecting to enjoy the hell out of it. I didn't go into Venom expecting that I have to wait almost 40 minutes for any action scenes, much less a full hour for the superhero part of the superhero movie to kick into gear. When it did though, it was good. What Venom does well, it does really well. What Venom doesn't do well can largely be attributed to Ruben Fleischer running his mouth off and misrepresenting the film. That and the fact that Riz Ahmed's character, the villain, is literally just Elon Musk if he smoked a bit more weed and decided to kidnap aliens. Fuck, he might be doing that. If you go into the movie having watched my review and being aware that it goes from boring Jason Bourne parody to exciting Hulk fights in the final act, you'll probably enjoy this film a lot more than I did. Okay, you definitely will. It's not hard to enjoy this movie more than me if you're aware that everything can be more or less surmised as dated and uninventive. I fully believe dear Ruben had an idea for what he wanted to do. I also fully believe the flat earthers take themselves incredibly seriously. So, Ruben, my good sir, you did achieve the best Venom on screen. You also achieved the worst comic book movie since. Actually, you know, I feel like comparing it to Batman vs. Superman is too rude, and comparing it to Daredevil is just too kind. Howard the Duck, maybe? No, but in all seriousness, Venom himself is beautiful. And it's funny as hell to see Tom Hardy screaming and yelling as he turned into a giant black guy who just wants to eat people. I just wish I'd known this before watching the movie, so my expectations for a gory and violent Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde style Venom was just Ruben beating himself off to his imagination. That sucked. That was a plot twist I wasn't really wanting. So yeah, Venom looks really good. More than he has a right to be in scenes without another symbiote, that is. When he is with another symbiote, Okay, so you guys remember that trashy CGI fight at the end of Wonder Woman? It's like that. I don't know how hard it is to fuck up two veiny-ass motherfuckers fighting each other, but apparently it's too easy. From a critical standpoint, that is. Unlike Wonder Woman, this fight scene is actually fun and suspenseful, and doesn't end with a narration saying love triumphs all. In terms of world building, Venom sets up a lot. I really hope they double down on the French kissing between Tom Hardy and Venom in the next one. That's what we need. We need more of that. We need another whole minute of that. But everything about this movie feels like broad outlines and a boring setup for what seems to be a sequel with a fantastic plot, if they actually go through with it, which based on this movie doesn't seem that likely, unfortunately. Now, this next part is a bit of a spoiler, so you may want to skip ahead if you're not about that spoiler life. Alright, so Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson got cast way back when they casted Tom Hardy in the role of Eddie Brock, and apparently the plan the whole time was to just set up for Venom v Carnage Dawn of CGI. Like, they never even intended to use Woody Harrelson in this movie. They literally just wanted him to sign a contract saying, I'm gonna do your fucking sequel. It's really smart, actually. At the end of Venom, we get this really cool end credit scene. Eddie's driving up to a prison to interview a serial killer, Cletus Cassidy. And when he gets there, guess who it is? It's Woody. It's Woody Harrelson. But the man, oh, this poor man. I mean, look at this dude. Sideshow Bob looking ass. Look at this shit. This man looks like he's about to kill fucking Bart Simpson. I mean, who thought this was a good idea? I mean, what? He doesn't even look like this in the comics. Ruben Fleischer, you had one job, and you gave him hair like that? You give him hair like a fucking mop? And I thought evil Elon Musk was hard to take seriously. But yeah, Venom sets up far more than it actually delivers. Too much. And again, I respect Ruben Fleischer for that on a certain level. It takes a lot of fucking confidence and stupidity to make a movie betting entirely on making a sequel 10 times better than the original one, but it worked out. They're rolling in profits. And realistically, Venom does have a character-driven story that is a lot better than some of the other movies I've seen this year. Yet he's actually different at the end of the movie than he is at the beginning. He has a new drive in life, a new purpose, a new crusade, a new outlook on everything. Looking at some more of the technical aspects of the movie, the acting is all over the board. Most of the cast take their roles way too seriously for what the movie actually turned out to be. And then you have Tom Hardy shoving tater tots down his mouth and biting into a live fucking lobster. It's all high quality though, especially Tom Hardy the more I think about it. The cinematography is nothing special. I think cutting out the jump cuts in the fight scenes, since they are CGI and don't actually need cuts, and removing the slow motion stuff in the sequel can make it a lot more enjoyable and easier to follow. Wide angle shots as well to establish Venom and Riot's scale would have helped the film a lot. Which, speaking of, I'm pretty sure they never even really kept a good idea of what their size was, considering they go through human-sized doorways. All of this is stuff I really hope they do in the sequel. As a note, in regard to the story, there are some continuity errors. It lacks a strong villain, a strong motive, and mostly revolves around Eddie Brock, which is fine in story-driven plots, but Eddie's really fucking bland. It literally would have been completely fine if Eddie Brock weren't such a normal guy compared to when he hosts Venom and starts getting interesting, which again, unfortunately, is an hour in. Keeping all that in mind, I can't give Venom a high score. It's just below average in many regards and very much can be defined as a guilty pleasure compared to comic book movies now. It's a movie out of time. Of course, I hate using comparisons since shit like that is way too subjective, and I try to give you guys a balanced take so that you don't waste your money. So Venom, I can't recommend it if you're expecting a really good dark Venom movie. I can, however, recommend Venom if you've watched this video and understand that it has some really fucking good parts, but that it takes far too long to get there. If it weren't for the fact it was the Venom IP, I'd categorically send this movie for a bloated plot, a lead who seems to think he's in a comedy, and a supporting cast who seem to have been plucked from John Wick. But given what this movie is about, it's not horrible. It kind of works, I guess. I give Venom a 6. I mean, yeah, you probably won't be disappointed with it as long as you're aware that Ruben Fleischer basically ran his mouth off and lied at every event where he answered questions about the movie. I also think it's worth watching as a whole for the fact that the sequel will kick ass. I hope. God, I hope it is. Yeah, so I hope you keep that in mind if you go see it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'd love to know your thoughts on Venom. I know a lot of people feel very passionately it's a good movie, so I don't mean to offend you with this review at all. I really wanted to like it. I just was really disappointed. So I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on it. If you thought it was a good movie, a bad movie, if you liked the review, if you didn't like the review, if you think I'm being a dumbass. Any and all are appreciated. If you'd like to join my Discord, the link is in the comment section, and make sure to leave a like and to subscribe for more content like this in the future. And if you'd like to support and represent the channel, go check out my merch store. The link is in the description below. I've just launched a new line of merch designs, which I have to say are pretty damn neat. Any and all support at the store or on my Patreon are greatly appreciated. Which, by the way, now starting at $1 a month, that's right, a whole damn dollar, you can read the scripts for my videos. I've already got several up there and will be uploading all of them as I go through my archive, including videos I ended up scrapping entirely. It also includes notes and in some cases cut segments that were too technical for the video and interrupted the flow, or I ended up stuttering over for way too long. That happens far more than I'd like to admit. Anyway, it's only $1 and it really helps me out and gives you guys something that you've asked for in the past. And if you'd like to support more, there are other tiers above it with even more rewards. Feel free to check it out. The link is in the description below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. A huge thank you to Patreon supporters Anonymous and Matt Porter. I really appreciate it. I'm an idiot